but if all my crown shall lose his. Weep no more, good Queen Bess. At least when he falls dead, he'll have no more need to employ his brush and comb. Once his noodle rolls, don't cry, look ahead. Oh, I just can't bear it anymore. In case you find it hard to take in such tangled plots, let us give you something of Queen Bess refuses to be shaken by Mary Queen of Scots. But in the meantime, love for Essex drives to Gaga as his doom draws near. But the forest still coming up. So for a wrap above this saga, sit back and land and hear. Which
one? Hugh's Mary? Which one of Hugh's Mary? Queen of Scots?
That one, the fat one over there.
This is right on through to...
The fat one over there?
I'm ready. You're on Essex now, right?
Yeah.
You're on. I said you were here with us.
Go!
Essex, I dream of you and Essex, and the love I have for you is soothing when I hear the golden blooming souvenir. Oh, Queen Bessie, he's gone, but still you've got a reminder of his love within a pretty little pot. To remain with His Majesty, I bring us by the storm. My royal robe of office seems not fitting anymore. Good Queen Bessie, too long for him you pined. You must concentrate instead upon the sprout he left behind. Though Queen, I'm still a woman, it's a fact I cannot hide. So the world shall shortly know about the stirring deep inside. Dear Queen Bessie, the world will shortly know that beneath the robe of royalty, love must be free to grow. As it grows, I'm certain to conceal it would be wrong. So the gift I can't contain for very long. Please, Queen Bessie, when push has come to shove, let the kingdom be informed about the power of your love. To the memory of Essex, there's a tribute I must pay. So the contents of this pot I shall reveal this very day. Bravo, Bessie, you'll bring it off somehow. Those troublesome, the time has come to win and bear it now.
I never hear the baby. I've never heard the baby once.
Yeah, the baby should be there.
Yeah, there was a baby yesterday.
I think
Last
so.
night there was a baby, but very quietly. No?
No one hears it.
Oh, okay.
No
I thought I
Polly,
heard a
do
baby.
baby louder.
But Polly is...
Yeah, Paul's like...
That'd be fun.
You just take the baby out of the microphone? Is that what happens?
No, she's on stage.
What?
Paul's on stage.
Oh,
Polly's on
baby.
stage.
Yep.
Who did the baby last night?
No. We used to have just heard it as well.
I think
I heard
There hadn't been a baby at all.
It just cried quietly in honor of your coronation.
Of course they'll do so quietly.
But you have to put some powder on. Again. Unless you're too shy.
Come on, baby.
I won't shine. Not anymore.
No, there's a shine. There's a song about it.
There's a lot of songs about shit.
Yeah.
So, you come all the way from Scotland to defend me. Nice trip.
Strip? Who's gonna strip?
Let the cannon speak to the heavens to show my acceptance. Forgot that one yesterday.
It's a music box.
Oops.
Do I say something?
He's a Spanish ambassador.
I'm the Spanish ambassador. I have one final offer for you. Surrender your throne to Mary Queen of Scots. Or bear the brunt of my country's unconquerable armada.
So?
Yeah, her salivary glands. Sorry.
Jerry?
Then, Majesty, why approacheth the man so swiftly? Hearken to the sound. What about Godsocks? Oh, Godsocks. That's a good one. Godsocks? It is the royal messenger. What's my touching you?
It grieves me to announce the king is dead.
Say it is not so.
Alas, actors. But wallow not in mawkish grief, for Elizabeth, his daughter, has just been crowned queen. Her mother and Boleyn would have been so proud.
Then 'tis not time for gloom, 'tis time for festivity.
Verily, yea! Defunct defender of the faith has drawn his final breath. So goodbye, Henry VIII, hail Elizabeth. Each voice shall coo, each lute shall strum Elizabeth's success. My full name is too cumbersome, call me good Queen Bess. Her rule sure brings future freedom from all dreads. All who disown my royal throne soon shall lose their heads. Did you hear that? We wonder what her reign may have in store. In nothing flat my foes will watch, 'cause when I reign I pour. What if your reign begins to pain the court aristocrats? If they talk back, they're going to lack a place to wear their hats. We'd better not get her mad one to see. I just over the line, I'll get it in the neck. My heck!
Wonderful, beautiful.
Bill.
Yeah, any line.
Your favorite line?
My favorite line? Practice.
That's what you think.
Play it, damn it, play.
Of course it will do so quietly in honor of your coronation day.
Wonderful.
And what about you? Yeah.
And this is Matt. What is your favorite line in this play? What is your favorite line in this play?
Coming in now. My favorite line would have to be, damn it, what's my line?
That is a line in the show.
Do you're all in costume.
Hold it, where's the gilliflower?
If I give everyone my address.
Aggie, how could you possibly know that?
You're still here, Aggie. Why don't you just sit down and relax? When they attack, I want to be on my feet near the exit.
Now, Jerry, I must concede that you informed me of good I hadn't told you, and I was afraid I'd miss all the fun.
Fun? What fun, Louise? Jerry, what's going on?
I just want to see the expressions on your faces when Jerry drops your bombshell. Now, Jerry, isn't fair. If Aggie and Louise already know, why can't you just
Polly, it's not the same thing. Aggie and Louise were just individuals during the show. Now the cast is something else again. I must tell the actor to breathe.
Oh, Polly, I think I know what Jerry's getting at. It can't be really anything that dreadful if these two aren't here. I mean, they know whatever it is and they still showed up, so.
Well, I suppose you're right, dear.
Of course it is. And as soon as the others... Oh, look, there's... Oh, that's really...
Is there anything wrong?
No, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong. Everything's fine. Just fine. Polly and Henry are just imagining all kinds of dire things simply because I held off telling them why we're here.
Then this isn't a casting call. I figured this being the middle of February, it was time to try out for the spring musical.
Well, that is the reason we're here.
But
no way.
If that's the case, why are you being so mysterious?
You're too strong. No, it's not.
Well, what is it? We're going to do the whiz, and there'll be repercussions if we do it in blackface?
I only wish it were as simple as that.
You mean we're doing it in blackface? We're not doing the whiz, Smitty.
But how many other shows need players in blackface?
Well, there is the green fish.
Well, this has nothing to do with blackface.
Okay, I give up. What is the dire problem besetting us, all unbeknownst?
Yes, what is it? I'm starting to get nervous. Just tell us. Maybe you better tell them, Jerry. We've at least got a quorum.
A quorum? Who else is coming?
Just two more, Bill and Violet.
Who? You don't mean Bill Carew and Violet Imbrie?
Henry, she's not Imbrie anymore since she married Billy.
I thought they moved out of town when Bill got transferred.
He was transferred back 2 weeks ago.
Oh, how marvelous. Why? We haven't seen them
Since we did Phyllis's play, remember?
who could forget?
Props that weren't there when they should be, phones that didn't ring when they should, and guns going off without warning.
And the rewrite. That was the worst part. Billy showing up with new scenes every day.
No, it
Almost
wasn't.
until the show opened.
Nobody could hold their lines properly.
But still we did pull it off, and the reviews were quite gratifying.
Only because the reviewers thought it was supposed to be a comedy.
I'm glad you don't have to go through it like that, Jen.
Amen.
Oh, boy, I was afraid of that.
Now, wait
practically sell out business.
Oh, no, that is true.
I'm doing my Phyllis Montague, and it's a musical.
I better go warm up the car.
No! Please hear me out. Then make up your mind.
Oh, come on, Henry. It's not like there is anything worth watching on TV tonight.
Or any night.
Thank you, all of you.
Well, if there's not going to be a lynching, I guess I will sit down.
Oh, the basic problem, see, is economics.
Now, wait a minute. That was the spiel you gave us last time we did a Phyllis Montague show. We were getting it royalty-free.
It's worse than that, Saul. This time we might actually lose our theater.
Oh, good.
That's bad.
Well, business, as you all know, hasn't been exactly brisk this season. I guess it's partly the national concern about spending money in tight times, combined with so many people preferring to stay at home for entertainment on television.
Is that what they call it?
Well, anyway, what it boils down to is that we've just barely been making the rent of this place. And our lease just came up for renewal, and our rent has gone up, and frankly speaking, we do need to do this show bad.
Well, if Phyllis wrote it, I'm sure we will do it bad.
Stop it, Saul. You know very well what Jerry means, but Jerry, seriously, it seems to me that no matter what show we do, it just...
You didn't let me finish. See, if we do Phyllis's show, we get a $10,000 endowment for our theater.
I didn't know she had $10,000.
She hasn't.
Well, then where?
If you'd come up and let Jerry finish. Yeah, go on, Jerry.
Thanks, but Louise, before we go on, could you make us some coffee? I'm still sort of shivering after the drive over here.
Sure enough, I guess I've seen all the funny facial expressions I'm going to.
Actually, it's kind of warm indoors here. I think my overcoat is what's causing the chill after being outside.
I think I took mine off too soon.
What did you?
Psychology, I guess. I thought that if I didn't look all bundled up and ready to leave, it might keep everyone else around till I'd explained matters properly.
Well, which you haven't done yet, by the way.
Yes, Jerry, tell us about this $10,000.
Well, have you ever heard of an organization called the Best Boosters?
Has anybody?
I know what you mean, but the thing is, Phyllis has, and they've commissioned her to write this show.
Oh, a light begins to dawn. Either we do Phyllis' show, or we lose $10,000.
And our theater, Saul.
Oh, boy. Talk about a rock and a hard place.
Exactly. However, knowing how you all feel about the drama of the last show that Phyllis did,
We all prayed it would be the last show as we did.
I made certain prearrangements with Phyllis. First of all, I made her promise that the script that she submits will be the only script we're going to use. In other words, no rewrites.
Well, that helps quite a bit.
And secondly, I made her swear that she will not constantly interrupt while we're at rehearsal.
You mean we might actually get through a scene without her offstage screams?
That sounds better.
And finally, if we do have to make any alternations in any of her lines or in the stage business, she is devoted to our decision and not threaten to take her show elsewhere.
And she agreed to your terms?
Oddly enough, yes, each and every one. And would you like to know why?
You were sitting on her chest at the time?
Cut it out, Saul. You know, Jerry, I just had a marvelous idea. What if we make a mandate that every time Saul interrupts with one of his stupid jokes, he has to pay a fine?
Really, Polly?
Jerry, she's only saying that because she's almost always the butt of my jokes.
Well, stop the fat jokes off. You know it's not Polly's fault she's so... sort of on the plum side.
Sort of, Henry. If Polly were a murder victim, the chalk line around her corpse would be a circle.
There, you see, if we do find Saul every time he does something like that, we'll get the $10,000 from him at the end of the show.
You do have a point there.
Come on, Jerry. Can't a guy have a little fun? I love Polly. It's just that she leaves herself open to teasing so well. But fat jokes are unkind, Saul. Her weight is not her fault. She has trouble with her glands.
Yeah, her salivary glands.
Let's do. What do you think, Jerry? We could make a fortune. Oh, will you hold it? We haven't had everything yet. I want to know why Phyllis agreed to Jerry's show without Saul's interruptions.
Actually, I'd like to know the reason myself.
Well, pure and simple. Phyllis adores you people. She told me that she will always treasure you because you all worked so hard for her very first show.
Jerry, Phyllis was the reason it was so hard.
Miss Turkey,
Oh, good. Now, will you please all let me finish this?
what's stopping you?
Everybody, you included.
Wow, what side of bed did you get up on today? Show business is always such a lark.
I'm sorry. Guess I am being a bit cranky. It's just that I've been so keyed up with worry, wondering how you'd all respond to the situation.
Well, we haven't walked out yet, have we?
Yeah, Jerry. You're amongst friends. Go on about this endowment thing.
And please tell us why. I mean, with a zillion playwrights on this planet, this endowment group selected Phyllis Montague to write our show.
Well, you see, the Best Boosters is run by a committee. Now, the committee had already selected a composer for the show, and they asked him to pick the playwright. Now, the composer selected Phyllis Montague because...
He's a nutcake.
Oh,
Sorry.
the composer's name is Monty Montague. Does that give you the clue?
Oh my, wouldn't you know?
It's beginning to make sense.
You mean we get to cope with 2 Montagues? What kind of mandate have you laid upon him?
Well, I haven't actually met the gentleman
Oh,
yet.
Phyllis is bringing him by at 8:30.
Well, that gives us exactly 5 minutes to run for our lives.
Stop that song! The man must have talent or the committee wouldn't have selected him.
Well, I suppose that's a point in our favor. What is he? Some kind of relative?
Well, it's my understanding that Monty is Phyllis's nephew.
Who is just tiptoed out of the asylum?
Now, Sol,
Polly, the man must be a lunatic. He asked Phyllis to author his script.
Well, he's got a point, dear.
say, isn't that, what's the word, nepotism? I know it's got something to do with our nephew.
Oh, but he hired her, sweetie. That makes it antitism. I'll just go help Louis with the coffee.
What I'd love to know is, what in the world is Best Booster?
Ah, now that's the infant charming husband. Marla Smith, a clever young player. Saul Watson, a fine dramatic actor in older roles.
You would love my Kim Lear.
And the ladies with the refreshments are Aggie Manville, our simply sterling stage manager, and Louise Perry, who does something or another backstage.
I keep the mice from migrating on stage.
I didn't know this place was infested with vermin.
Then you don't know Sol.
Hey, point of order, Jerry. Does this fine thread work both ways?
What threat?
Oh, it's just some in-joke stuff, Phyllis, dear. You know, players like to tease one another.
Oh, then there aren't any mice.
Oh, of course not. Louise is our tech person. She handles lights, sound effects, stuff like that.
You don't mean manually, do you?
Well, you see, I've tried running the lifeboat with my toes, but...
Louise.
With your toes then, Phyllis.
Oh, Louise was just having a little joke. I presume.
But that's so backward.
Monty, it wasn't Joe. Louise doesn't run tech with her toes.
I don't mean that. I mean, even doing it manually is so out of step these days. In the modern theater, all that stuff is handled by a computer.
Gosh almighty, I am a noob. That's what I get for falling off a turnip truck.
Louise, will you please pass out the coffee and listen to what Monty is saying?
May as well, but it's kind of sad slipping from theater technician to waitress.
I haven't made myself clear. I wasn't firing you, Louise. I was just suggesting that the theater buy a computer.
Buy one? Monty, those things cost money.
But surely, Geraldine, your theatre group has money.
If we had, would we be doing your stupendous show in such a tiny, tiny theater?
Jerry, that's what I call a nice save. The money, I mean. The money we save. Having a small theater is what I meant.
Phyllis, dear, would you like to tell us about the show, please?
Oh, I should be delighted to do so. Well, of course, when Elizabeth reigned, she was, alas, much maligned.
What?
Oh, she got a lot of bad press.
But didn't she deserve it? I mean, after all, anybody who disagreed with her got their heads lopped off.
Rumors! Ugly rumors! The very sort of rumors that the Best Boosters was founded in order to set right.
I'm getting a glimmering. What they really tried to boost is the Queen's reputation.
Exactly, Agatha. So many terrible things were said about her that it is the purpose of my little show to correct all those unfortunate errors.
But how can you correct a historical fact, Phyllis? I mean, for instance, we all know
no, Mary was Scottish. And Elizabeth, who much admired Mary's clothing, happened to say one day, do you know, I'd love to have her killed. Well, the palace executioner overheard, and he misunstood.
Phyllis, is that one of the details that comes up in your script?
Naturally.
The script you promised not to alter?
Yes. I have told Geraldine that the scripts I am going to hand out to you tonight are to be performed exactly as I have written them. I am not going to change a single solitary word.
Even if we beg?
Phyllis, where are those scripts anyhow? Oh, yes, that's so silly of me. I believe I've left them in... Monty, would you... Oh, so kind, so kind. Now, whilst we're waiting, do you have any questions?
Yeah, Phyllis, who plays who?
Oh, yes. Now, Holly, I think you should play Mary Queen of Scots.
Oh, could cover that in class.
Never mind, Phyllis. Please go on.
And the key role, that of Elizabeth herself, should be played by a young girl. Someone fresh, vital, ravishingly beautiful.
But I thought the Queen was totally bald.
Bald? Totally.
Didn't even have eyebrows.
Thus originating the courtly question, what have you done with your hair?
Do you know, I believe you're right.
You do?
No, I thought this was going to be a romantic role.
Oh, it is very romantic. Consider, for instance, Elizabeth's passionate love affair with Lord Essex. Poor woman. So sad he died before the two of them could wed.
And Phyllis, she had Essex beheaded.
She did.
That's the way I remember it.
And she was an eyewitness.
I read it in a book, a false book. The very kind of book the best boosters are trying to stamp out. And if I can do anything to help, then I will.
I understand now. We get the grant, and you...
get elected to the Best Boosters Society. It's very exclusive, you know. That's why I was so thrilled when Monty told me. But wait until you see what I've done. Monty, would you?
Of course. Immediately.
Thank you.
Phyllis, just exactly how does...
No. They're going to have proof, of course.
Well, what kind of proof? A theater program?
Reviews?
Newspaper writers?
Oh, maybe a copy of the script?
Oh, no, they've already seen the script, Agatha.
And given it their enthusiastic approval besides.
So what's left? They'll have to see the show, of course.
Oh, well then, just one tiny question. Do we get that $10,000 before they see the show, or after?
Before, of course. What the money is for, basically, is payment to you for putting it on. If you agree to do the play once you've read the script, the money will be wired to your theater immediately.
What need to read?
If this play is by Phyllis Martin, then it has to be worth our interest.
But then again, there never was a pay rate quite like you.
Saul, I'm so profoundly grateful, dear.
Not as grateful as the Dramatists Guild.
So, you'll do the play, sight unseen?
Wouldn't it help if they read it before doing it?
Yeah, that makes rehearsing so much easier.
Oh, and Agatha Louise, you'll be delighted to know that the setting for the show should be utter simplicity.
Just one setting for a whole musical?
Say, that is a break.
What is the set?
Well, it's just a single room, Martha. Construction of the set should be utter simplicity.
Oh, that's more like it.
What kind of room did you have in mind?
The throne room at Buckingham Palace.
Look on the bright side. You only need one chair.
Well, Phyllis, seriously, are you sure that the musical is a proper format for this sort of saga?
Of course, why not? Elizabeth's father was a songwriter.
Henry VIII? What is he writing?
Greensleeves, among others.
I didn't know that.
Hey, Phyllis, what's a Scot?
Oh, that's a sort of medieval minstrel.
Hey, Phyllis, look, what's it? Stop.
Oh, that's a hand weapon from the Middle Ages. It's like a sword.
Here's another stumper. What's enough is baldric.
Baldric, dear. That's the sort of belt they used to wear when knights were bold, in order for them to have some place to carry their weapons. Phyllis, are you sure we should be using words that the audience isn't even likely to be familiar with? I mean, how will they know what the people on stage are talking about? I'm sure that anyone of any intelligence will be able to work the words out from their context. I mean, the meaning should be perfectly plain.
Yeah, just about as plain as an estoc in a Scots baldric.
I knew you'd catch on quickly.
Oh, besides, Geraldine, I'm certain that best boosters will understand the language of the time, so what's the problem? Well, your theory works fine for the performance that the best boosters are going to attend. But what about all our regular customers and subsequent performers?
You mean you're going to be doing the show more than once?
Oh, we have to. That 10,000 boxes will to last forever, you know.
Yeah, the business has been sparse enough lately, without alienating our patrons even further.
We might lose our patrons to other theaters.
Even to television.
But I'm not sure I could stay on for an extended run of the show.
Oh, don't worry about it. I mean, you've given us a script. Now you can go home.
But I'm the music director.
You are? Well, of course. That's why the best boosters paid his way here. Otherwise, they could simply have mailed the score to you.
What's all the fuss about? Once Monty has musically directed the show, there's no need for him to stick around.
But Monty's playing the Spanish ambassador.
I am?
Well, of course you won't be directing the music all the time. Don't pat! Geraldine is going to be directing the acting bit, and she doesn't mind playing a part herself.
Whoa, Nellie. Who says I don't mind?
But you must. The Queen needs all the ladies in waiting possible. And I truly don't want my script in the hands of strangers. After all, I was free to choose any theatre company to do my show. But you were all so wonderful about doing my first play that I couldn't possibly allow that endowment to go elsewhere. Because if I'd never said so before, I love you one and all so very much.
Boy, talk about a guilt trip.
I suppose I could look Spanish with the proper makeup.
And the lady in waiting doesn't have too many lines, I suppose. So that's settled then, is it? Oh, no, not quite. Phyllis, those Scots and Baldwins have got to go. You made me promise that I wouldn't do rewrites.
Oh, Phyllis, there's no problem with you fixing the script at the beginning of rehearsal.
Exactly. But this last time was that you were still rewriting the script, all the way up to dress rehearsal. Not to mention the fact that the Middle Ages were over long before Elizabeth took the throne. She probably never saw a single scarf in her life. Exactly.
And what's this bit about William Shakespeare's knighthood?
I didn't know he'd been knighted. You never hear Sir William Shakespeare.
He is kind of odd. I mean, Elizabeth liked him. The court liked him. So why didn't he get knighted?
Maybe he flunked out of night school.
It is a mystery, that's for sure.
Not anymore.
Phyllis has solved the mystery beautifully. Nice job, Phyllis. Hey, who of us plays Shakespeare?
I do.
No wonder Estelle was so enthused.
Though it seems a rather short part.
Oh, don't worry about that, dear. So, you're also playing Sir Walter Raleigh.
Really?
Raleigh.
Hey, I like your old sense of humor.
That was humor.
Now, hold it a minute. How can I play Raleigh when he makes his entrance right after Shakespeare makes his exit?
Very simple device, so. As Shakespeare, you'll be wearing a high four-headed wig, longish hair hanging down your back. And as Raleigh, you'll wear a long, elegant cloak with jaunty cap and a feathered plume. All you have to do is step off stage, whip off the wig, don the hat and cloak, and step right back on it.
Well, I guess I could manage it. I'll have to work on it.
Speaking of work, maybe we should all do a read-through of the play now, right away.
Yes, and I especially would love to hear my songs.
That reminds me, I can carry a tune all right, but as to being a good singer.
Now, you don't have to worry about that, any of you. Just learn the lyrics and the sheer pageantry will carry you through. After all, who's to say that the Elizabethans were particularly good singers anyway, so...
Phyllis, I have one script left over. For Lord S.
Only one? You should have two. I counted them most carefully. One for Essex and one for Elizabeth.
No, I've got my first.
Ah, there's the mistake. You don't need a script, Marla. You're playing a non-speaking part.
No, Phyllis, you said the Queen of England should be played by somebody young and beautiful. I mean, horrible, but who else could play the part? Why, Violet, of course. She was so devastating as Diana in my last first play that one could have sworn she was of royal blood. Now that was a part that I could have looked royal if you hadn't had me playing the maid. I mean, what do I do in this play of yours? Oh, it's a very elegant part, Marla. You'll be playing a lady in waiting.
That's Elizabethan for me.
Phyllis! Oh, no! My decision is final, Marla. There is no possible way you could play a queen.
By the way, where is this Violet you're talking about?
She and Bill should be here in a minute. I mean, Bill has to work a bit late tonight, but he said they'd be here before 9. So.
It's almost that now.
Hello? Anybody here?
Ah, they've arrived. And that's another thing, Marla. Since Billy and Violet have wed in real life, I've naturally assigned him the role of Lord F.
Please, Phyllis, just let me try.
I'm sorry, but no, Marla. There is no way that I can allow such a vital part to fall in an unqualified hands. Violet is the only one that I would give the role of the renowned Virgin Queen of England.
Phyllis, what is a gilliflower and where can I get one?
Wouldn't any flower do?
Not to replace here. Why not? The blossoms 3 feet across and the petals are 1 inch thick.
You should get roses. They are so romantic. Oh, no! We mustn't chance that, Marla. The British used to fight battles over roses. The Lancasters versus the Yorks. 1 red, 1 white, and I'm not sure which faction Elizabeth favored.
It'd hardly raise a ruckus, Phyllis, and it's nowhere near as bad as putting Elizabeth in the wrong throne. I mean, you had her in Buckingham Palace almost a century before it was built.
What a big deal, so we just changed the program to read Windsor Castle and we are home free.
I trust, Agatha, that you and Louise have made the necessary readjustments to the plans for the stage setting.
Yeah, sure, Phyllis, no problem. But before I start building it, I've got to use the bathroom.
On wait your turn.
Is Violet in there again?
Well, Violet's been eating for 2, and she's been drinking for 2. So it stands to reason that right now...
Phyllis, can't Smitty and I just get on with the scene?
Oh. Knowing the subtext of what you're doing is so important.
Phyllis, are you coaching again? We decided that Violet was going to do that.
Yes, but Violet's in the ladies' room. Again.
Well, we could build a couple more. We could have men's, women's, and Violet's.
So, I suppose we're going to marry the manager that you've learned all your lines?
No, not quite, but I'll get them. I'll get them.
See that you do.
Geraldine, seeing as time is of the essence, dear, might I continue? At least until Violet returns.
I guess it can't do any harm.
Ah, good. Now, Marla, where were we?
We were talking about this flower bed, but I've got a question.
Yes, dear?
If Elizabeth wasn't a Lancaster and she wasn't a York, who was she?
A Tudor.
A Tudor's a sedan.
You're thinking of the hatchback of Notre Dame.
Oh.
I'm learning.
Say, Phyllis, I have a question too.
Yeah.
Isn't a potted plant as a gift for a queen kind of chintzy?
You must understand, William, at this particular period in history, Elizabeth was probably the wealthiest woman in the world. She had gold, jewels, silver, costly gowns, and what Essex wanted to do was to give her something that she didn't have, like a simple flower.
Or a bottle of hair restorer.
Okay.
Oh, finally.
How's Louise doing with the computer?
Maybe now Monty will leave me alone to learn that control board.
Come on, Bill. They could probably use a hand out there.
All right. Be nice to get...
Stunning! Padded velvet on the arms and back.
It's not my arms and back that I'm worried about, Phyllis.
Too bad we didn't have Polly play the queen. She comes with her own bags.
Oh, that reminds me. Where are Polly and Henry, Joe?
I'm afraid they're still fighting their head colds. I told them not to sit around here all night with their overcoats with the air below 0 outside, and when they went back out all sweaty and quite
At
understanding.
least we can work around them for the time being.
Maybe around Henry. Henry.
Come on, Jerry. You can't find him when Polly's not even here.
Right about here, okay, Monty?
Yes, that'll do marvelously, Aggie.
Isn't that kind of beat up for the royal throne room?
Oh, nobody has to look at it but me.
Where's the bench?
Oh, Monty, for Pete's sake, give us a chance. One thing at a time.
Wait, Aggie, if the dais has to hide the piano, how has the throne gonna be?
Oh, please don't tell me you're afraid of fights.
Oh, no, I wasn't thinking of that.
Well, of what?
Well, I was thinking of the heat from the overhead lights. I mean, in that heavy wig and the gown and everything, the nearer I get to those lights, the hotter it's gonna be.
Oh, don't worry. The velvet will soak up the sweat.
Here you go, I'm going to see if this thing fits you behind.
Oh, but I think Monty should have the honor. I am dying to listen to the score of this show.
All right, if you insist.
Say, about the songs in this show, I was looking at the lyrics the other day.
Aren't they simply magnificent? Monty is so talented.
Well, yes, but one of the rhymes bothers me.
Which rhyme is that, Violet?
In that duet between Elizabeth and Mary.
The throne is quite mine? Yes, one of my absolute favorites.
Yes, that's the one.
Which rhyme?
The one about evil aims. Monty rhymes it with pains, but shouldn't that be Thames?
Poetic license, my dear. Of course, I know the pronunciation of London's lovely river, but Thames simply wouldn't have fit the moment in the lyric line. You see, the chorus is singing about Mary's evil aims, and the next part is about the area's geography and sense. How else could I have ended?
Well, how about instead of Mary's evil aims, you sang about her sturdy stems? That would rhyme with Thames.
Hardly fit the moment.
It was should do funny though.
Smitty.
I told you I was contagious. Nice one.
Now let's stop all this time-consuming palaver and listen to Monty's lovely score.
Yes, please. There's still some time for me to get some sleep before morning.
All right, if you will insist. Now, here is that very number we were just discussing. The throne is rightly mine.
But first, let me set the scene. Mary and Elizabeth are having their vital confrontation on stage, alone.
Phyllis, we know where it occurs. Let's just get on with this, okay?
Bill, the baby, remember? It can hear you.
So when those daddy's not a whim, what's the problem?
Can I start playing or what?
Of course you should. Play, damn it. Play!
Here we go.
The real England?
Music is what kept old England merry. Besides, the banjo sounds very much like a lute.
Yeah, but we are using the piano.
That's only because I don't know the score for banjo.
Oh, lute.
Thank you, God.
Monty, if all the music in the show is like Stephen Foster,
Isn't that a plagiarism?
We prefer to think of it as a tribute. On your way to Jim.
The melodies are all in public domain. I checked.
But aren't Stephen Forster's melodies sort of innately American?
Ah, but Violet, you see, that bridges the gap between our two nations. This, which is one of the major goals of that marvelous Best Boosters Society.
Let me get this straight. Solid brick. No. Make that solid plan.
It's hard to believe it's only painted plywood.
Don't forget, it's braced with all those 2x4s.
Did you have to use so many?
Well, Monty, it's got to support the quiz, bro, you know?
Good thing you don't get to sit on it.
How magnificent.
but it looks like real marble.
It weighs like real marble. Are my arms any longer? They sure feel like it.
Look on the bright side, Bill. Now you'll be able to erase violence.
Too bad Henry didn't help out.
Oh, ha ha ha. Funny.
I just realized it's blocking the sound of the piano.
It has to, Monty. The piano is the only support under the platform.
But how will we be able to hear the music?
Well,
What do you think?
I might be crazy, but I think that sounds even better than the last that you played.
Well, perhaps the dais is acting like an extension for the soundboard.
You know, I bet Polly's right.
Oh, but
Right, we've got to rehearse these lines.
And we got to rehearse the song.
Not to mention constructing it.
And painting it.
And I have still got to design the program.
So what's stopping you?
But Phyllis hasn't been able to think of a title yet, remember? And I can't send it to the printer with no name on it.
Yeah, you can hardly call it. Guess what?
If Phyllis doesn't hurry up, we may have to.
But there is a name for the show, Vanity.
You could have told me.
We don't need one. But if we could only find a picture of one, we could take some crepe paper and fake it.
Well, you know, I guess you could change it if worse came to worse. I never mention it by name in any of my lyrics.
I sure wish Phyllis had your resiliency. Do you know she found the picture of Windsor Castle throne room and expects us to duplicate it?
At the rate we are progressing, she'll be likely to get any one of the tools. Hey, Aggie, what to do with my tape measure?
Oh, I'm coming.
Okay, let's get this thing going. Okay, places. Okay. Okay. Set.
Out romping through the meadows, just bonus chops.
Good old Phyllis. If I know her, she won't come back until she finds anything.
If she isn't any luckier than I was, we may never see her again.
See, Jerry, there's a bright side to everything.
Ready!
How long till germination, Phyllis? It says first sprouts appear within 10 days.
Look, ladies.
But how long after that till we get a flower?
5 to 6 weeks, if there isn't any frost. Phyllis, we open it.
Really? Oh dear. Maybe if we force-fed it with hormones.
Could you please discuss this somewhere else?
William, there is no need to shout.
That's what you think! She's got better manners than some playwrights I know.
If there's no way to speed it up, Lord Essex may be giving Elizabeth a pretty red pinwheel.
Okay, Bill, start the scene now. Now's your chance. How can we rehearse without the sand?
It's ready, Jerry, calm down.
But if it's ready, why isn't it up?
People will be here any minute.
You at least promised.
I know we did, but we didn't reckon on that crummy weather.
Crummy weather?
Yeah?
What does the weather have to do with anything?
A snow in February, a sleety March, and now a drizzly April. Well, the paint's not dry. Everything is painted, even Smitty's throne. We can't have people using the things in those arranged costumes, you know.
Oh, damn it. How can we open in 2 nights if the people don't have, they don't have a chance to work on the set?
Hey, Jerry, it's not as bad as you think. I mean, we don't have any doors to open and close, just archways for entrances and exits. So if they know they're blocking, it should be a breeze.
Yeah, meanwhile, we have a space heater backstage firing the paint along. Or we'll be able to set things up later tonight, I'm sure.
I wish I could share your confidence. Sweetie is going to be furious if she has to sit on that metal folding chair another night, and I don't blame her.
Am I early? Where's the set?
Drying.
Well, damn it, Smitty's gonna flip out.
Oh, we've already been over that. The throne is just kind of tagging.
How do you mean that?
Both ways. The paint's not dry and it looks pretty awful inside.
Well, even with the gold paint?
Yeah, even. Oh, we tried to make it look like real gold, but it still looks like wood with a bad gold paint job.
But the scene is nicely padded. That should help Sweetie's morale.
I hope so. She tells me her morale has bruises all over it from that other chair.
Say, where is Smitty anyway?
Well, don't look at me. I haven't driving her in weeks.
Oh, then how is she getting here?
Why, Monty's been driving her. Do you people mean to tell me you don't know about those two?
No, when stuff happening?
When she caught her cold. Monty's been giving her private singing lessons.
Wow! Does Phyllis know?
Does Phyllis know what?
Oh, Phyllis, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's just an idle rumor.
The show! Oh, somebody's been taken ill. The costumes don't... Where's the set?
Relax, Phyllis. It's got nothing to do with the show.
And the set is perfectly fine.
As soon as the paint dries.
Well, that's a mercy then. So what were you all